We're going to be pinching pennies in this one. Hello everyone and welcome back to Ninetail Hobbies. In this one we're going to be doing the Thrift Store Community Challenge. The guidelines for this challenge were we couldn't spend more than $5 at a thrift store, and then we had to make our project out of that. The other channels in this challenge are Nate's Minis, Lyla the Mini Witch, Patchwork Em, and Table Ready Gaming. Their links are going to be down in the description below. So with that, let's get to it. So these are the pieces that I found. I got them a while ago before all this COVID nonsense started. They're old Mage Knight pieces from the early 2000s. And these are the four that I picked out. I kind of wanted to make a industrial versus nature diorama, which I've never done a diorama before, and the pieces were a little rough. The old molds and everything were not the greatest, so cleaned up the mold lines. The guy's face was just a giant pile of mush, so it kind of gave him a sleigh gorget look. And the industrial side, I wanted to do all in reds and metallics, warm tones, dirtied up quite a bit, industrial era kind of look, steampunk, whatever. So everything with it was reds. I gave everything on its side a wash in Reichland Flesh Shade because it's a warmish brown to kind of unite everything. And I used a lot of paints that I don't normally use. I usually don't use metallics at all, but I also didn't want to spend 18,000 years doing some non-metallic metal on this piece. I wanted to make more of a statement, a commentary than worrying about making this the greatest painted piece ever. As my old shop teacher used to say, you can only polish a turd so much. But yeah, I used a variety of techniques. Stippling, used rust effect paints, which I don't usually do. Just kind of wanted to give this side some wear and tear. Also got to use inks for the first time. I used dark umber on these, and I'm definitely going to use those more. And of course with the natures, I used browns and greens, a lot of earth tones. The wood elemental was pretty much completely dry brushed. I used a green wash on all of the nature side to tie it together. And when I hit the unicorn, I kind of wanted to expand the color palette just a little bit. And it occurred to me that a lot of creatures in nature that are dangerous or poisonous of some sort have vibrant colors. So I figured, maybe that's why this unicorn has this almost synth style mane hair. And also worked a little bit on counter shading. I didn't quite get it down, but it gave me a better idea of how I want to do it for future pieces. Counter shading where animals are darker on top than they are on the bottom, which presents an interesting challenge with painting, being that shadows usually generate from the bottom and makes them darker that way. So getting the tones correct is going to be a bit of a challenge, but I've got something planned for that down the road. And I didn't want to generate a lot of false details through painting, you know, spending a lot of time for that. So I did just general basic highlights on each one. And then again with this elf, I just kind of went a little freeform, you know, jazz style painting. Just looked at my shelf and picked colors as I went. And then for the diorama itself, just used some foam core. You know, used a lot of things that I've found on Luke APS and Black Magic Craft. And this was the first diorama I'd made, first trees and everything. Those were roots and spray glue and homemade flock, and you know, I just wanted to try to tell a story a bit more than painting the next great mini. Busted out the old palette and just wanted to make a background that suggested the environment more so than give some kind of crazy specifics. Well, I'm not completely happy with the end result. I feel pretty good about I was able to convey what I was trying to get across, so I'd love to hear from you all as to the pros and cons of what you thought about this. Did I succeed in telling a story of any sort? So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.